Hello to Hockeypainter Daryl. I'm really excited. I've finished the self-portrait and I just have to do one more thing. I'm going to talk about that while I do it. You saw this process from start to finish. I didn't work on it every day, so I had something else. I'm doing another painting, so I'm working on that, but I did take the time yesterday and today to finish it up, which I had to do the clothing. So you got to see the process, how it begins, how it ends, and thanks for coming along for the ride. I made a lot of decisions during it that I don't know if I can teach people how to paint, but I can show them what I do. And I'd like to talk about some of the things when I finished today. Someone asked me a question yesterday, and I never really thought about this, but I do have an answer. And the question was, when doing the portrait, which was the hardest part? What's the hardest part? And I'm thinking, well, do they want to know the eyes, do they want to know the mouth, the nose, or whatnot? Basically, the hardest part, I would say, for me to do a portrait is to have patience. I think the three things you have to be a good painter: you have to have confidence, you have to have ability, which I call skill, and you have to have the patience to see it come through. And what I mean by that is, if I was doing a drawing, I could do it in an hour and have it shaded. But with a portrait in oils, you're drawing with a brush, and it's the painting process which is time consuming. So it's hard to not quit because it doesn't really come to life until really near the end. So we're not used to looking at a face without a mouth, without eyes, without a nose. So you have to have the confidence and the patience to see it through. And a lot of artists quit along the way. So if I can tell you anything as a tip, have the patience, because you have to have it when you're a painter. So I'm going to show you what I have to do to finish this. So here we go with the final, and maybe be surprised on what the last thing is to do. There, and I didn't have this goatee at all when I started, but I do now. Probably would help if I got the stick. Here it is on my contraption, my drawing board easel. And let me see. And it is finished. There it is, top to bottom. My finished self-portrait. There it is. I'm very happy with. So I'm going to show you what the last step is. And here I go. The last step actually is the signature. And people should never downplay doing the signature, because I think it's an important part of the painting. Now I may go back. When it's finished, this will have to be dry, and then I spray it with a shellac, because that way it makes all the colors the same. Everything will look the same, because you'll see the sheen of the semi-gloss that I put on. I have the shading here. I don't know, I might go over the black. I'm not sure of the coat. We'll see how that looks tomorrow. But here goes the signature. So my signature actually looks like this. That's my signature. Okay. Now I do a slower version. See over here, I have it small. You probably can't see that well, but here's how it looks small. I'll put that there. And I paint this on. Now, one of the biggest things I always wonder is, should I do the signature when this is dry or wet? But I'm going to do it wet today. And I always do it down here. I may put some over. We'll see how it goes, because I want to make sure that it all fits. I may do it right here. So let's see how it looks. I'm going to put a little oil with it. I always think artists should practice their signatures. I think it's a very important part, because when you put your name to something, that's important. Your signature should mean that it's the absolute best that you could do. That's something I always say, and if I'm happy with it, my wife likes it, which is important. So let's see. I'm going to start about right here and see. And this is, so difficult. I find this very difficult to do. signature. Very difficult because the paint is wet. So I come down. Wish I could do it that fast. It's kind of an abbreviated version of it. I actually do the D, and I like this because it's not too bright. I don't think it takes away from it. It's just the right, when the signature blends in. Oh, too much paint on it. It's hard to believe that this will take the amount of time that it does. I try to get a version of it that looks, and a little paint on that. Makes it look kind of, I'm always amazed at how long this takes me to do. But I think it's very important. I think your signature, the D, I remember I played hockey in Rochester when I was younger. And I was at a house. And I believe that the person there did photographs. He was did something. So here's the Y, and now the L. I'm going to pull way out. Bring it back. So even though you can't see it really well, if you see my paintings, you'll know it's there. And now, I'm going to pull this in. And he did the D like I have the D, and I always liked that, and I used to practice that, doing my D just like that. Here it goes. And again, it's not perfect, but I know that it's mine. And I like it. Both of these cross the A. This will be the end of the painting, I think. I never had anyone emphasize signatures to me when I was in college or anywhere. This was like an afterthought. Your signature should never overwhelm your work. I think it's important that people know who did it. Okay, there's the L. And then I do this M-I-T-H for Smith. Printing it. I do capital letters when I print. I don't know if most people do that, but I did notice that Elvis Presley does it. So that made me feel good because I'm a huge Elvis fan. I'm going to fix this up with some red. So I think that's a little sloppy. I don't want it to be. So here goes my red. And I'm going to have to switch and put on my magnifying glasses because it's so tiny. I want that to look just right. Nice and clean. There it goes. So stick with your artwork. Be proud of what you do. Have patience. Work on your skill level. Those are the things you need to do. Remember, a good artist has good eyes. A great artist has great eyes. A little more white, and I'll be happy to say that Daryl is finished. Gonna see that S. There it goes. Come on. So it doesn't overwhelm my signature, but it lets people know who did it. It's in the paint, so it's in the painting, which I like. If someone tried to counterfeit this, I know it's mine. There we go, look at that. Look at that white come up. So, you saw this. Start to finish. Thanks for being with me. I appreciate it. Hope you might have learned something. At least now you know how I do a self-portrait. So take care. Thanks for coming along.